Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning. I was wanting to get this done like Friday morning, and just had stuff going on, and that hadn't really took the time to sit down and do it. But a couple things first this morning. I want to ask you to pray for Josiah, my youngest son. Went snowboarding yesterday. His favorite thing in life to do. First trip out this season, breaks his collarbone. So he's laid up and looking like he's gonna have to have surgery. So keep him in your prayers. He's gonna be laid up for a while. And the other thing is, I want to give a shout out to Phoenix, my nephew. My sister told me that he had been listening, and he's 9 years old. And just a shout out to Phoenix, and glad you're listening. But we're going to jump into John chapter 5 this morning, and it's the healing of the lame man beside the pool of Bethesda. Let's jump right in. Chapter 5 says, After this, a Jewish festival took place, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem by the sheep gate. In Jerusalem, there is a pool called Bethesda, in Aramaic, which has 5 colonnades. Within these lay a large number of the diseased, blind, lame, and paralyzed. Okay, the sheep gate was believe where they took the livestock in. They brought them in through there, and some say they washed them in these pools, which makes sense. That's the way they brought the animals in, the ones that they was going to be sacrificing and stuff. And the festivals it talks about were probably one of three. There was 3 festivals that each Jewish male was required to go to, and one of them was the festival of the tabernacles. The festival of Passover is one, unleavened bread. 2 is the festival of weeks, also called Pentecost, and 3 the festival of tabernacles. So you had 3 festivals that could have been either one of them. That's why Jesus was more likely there for the festival. But it says he goes in through this sheep gate, and there's all these people laying around, the paralyzed and the sick. And he comes up on this one man. It said one man that was there and had been disabled for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and realized he had already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to get well?" That's kind of a crazy question, ain't it? Do you want to get well? And do you want to be healed? And if we think about it and really look about it, there's some people that really don't want to be healed, and they might not say that right off the bat, but as you think about it, you gotta want to get well before you can ever figure out the how to get well. If you don't want to get well, you're not going to get well. And some people, if they was to get well, it would take away their identity. Their identity's tied up in their whatever is wrong with them. Whatever it may be, whether they're paralyzed, addicted, anything. Our identity can get just wrapped up in that, and if we was to all of a sudden be well, it would change our identity, and we might have to start taking responsibility for being well instead of using being sick for your bad actions, so to speak. But he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" And one other thing I wanted to point out, some versions say there was a man laying there that had been invalid for 38 years. And that word invalid, invalid. And that's the way the world looks at a lot of people like this, like they can't add no value to the world, to the culture. So they're just worthless in the world's eyes. It's not that way with Jesus. He looked at this man as an image bearer of God. That's the way he looks at all of us. You may not think you're worth anything, but you was worth what Jesus paid for you. Jesus went to the cross for you and for me and for all of us because we're image bearers of God. And so he asked this guy, "Do you want to get healed?" And the first thing he says was, "Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I'm going, someone goes ahead of me. So the first thing he throws at him was an excuse why he didn't say yes or no. He just said, you know, he gave him that answer just to, well, here's here's why I can't get well. And it is believed, and it goes back and forth on this. Theologians believe, you know, that there was like a legend that this water would be stirred up from time to time. Whether it did or not, I don't know. And if it did, I don't know what caused it. But the legend was that the angel of God would come down and stir this water, and if you got in it, whatever was wrong with you, you'd be healed. Well, for one thing, they're focusing on something temporary. You know, this water stirs up every once in a while or whatever, and they ain't got their eyes on Jesus, the one that can actually heal them. They got their eyes on something temporary in the world that somebody else said could heal them, and so he's focused on the wrong things. But so Jesus says in verse 8, "Get up," Jesus told him, "pick up your mat and walk." Instantly the man got well, picked up his mat and started to walk. So he just healed him right there, told him, "Get up and take up your mat and walk." So the man, he had to at least get up and walk. You know, Jesus could have told him that, and he was thinking, well, you're crazy. I can't get up and walk. I'm paralyzed. But he had to know something when Jesus spoke those words. So it says, instantly the man got up, picked up his mat, and started to walk. Now that day was the Sabbath. And so the Jews said to the man who had been healed, "This is the Sabbath. The law prohibits you from picking up your mat." Okay, so this is one of them rules that the Pharisees and stuff got together. They added stuff. They just come up with stuff to make things harder. It seems like. But so the man had been disabled for 38 years, and everybody's seen him, you know, and all of a sudden he's healed. You would think that would be a great celebration, but no, you broke the law because you're carrying your mat on the Sabbath, which was Saturday. Can't be doing this stuff on Saturday. And this man's healed you on Saturday. What's he thinking? He can't be healing people on Saturday. And so the way the world sees things is by a bunch of rules. Jesus don't see things like that. Jesus sees an image bearer of God that was in need, and he healed him. He said, "Who is this man that told you pick up your mat and walk?" they asked. But the man who was healed did not know who it was, because Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that something worse doesn't happen to you." The man went and reported to the Jews that it was Jesus who made him well. Therefore, the Jews began persecuting Jesus because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. Again, he was healing people on the Sabbath, so they was going to kill him, and which is just crazy to even think about. But that's the way religion is. The Pharisees was hung up on religion and their rules and their laws. And I heard preachers say a long time ago that 18 inches is going to send a lot of people from hell. Their head knowledge and their heart knowledge, that distance from your head to your heart, it ain't what you know, it's who you know, and you got to invite him into your heart. And that's Jesus Christ. But one thing I want to touch on is, it says after Jesus found him in the temple, he told him, "Do not sin anymore." And some things, maybe it was why he was paralyzed was due to his own sin. You know, people ask all the time, why does people hurt? Why don't Jesus just take away the pain? But Jesus will work through the pain. You hear people say all the time, Jesus won't give you more than you can handle. Bull. Yes, he will. He will definitely give you more than you can handle. So you'll have to lean on him, let him handle it, because we ain't got this. He's got this. But some things we do is just our own stupidity. And if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough. But we don't know. It don't say why he was paralyzed, but it may have been something he done as a sinful act. But and back then they say that like venereal diseases and stuff, sexual sin would cause you to be paralyzed. and just different thing, anything. But it don't say what it was, but he told him not to sin anymore so something worse don't happen to him. In other words, go and sin no more, just like he told the woman caught in adultery. But Jesus healed him, and the Pharisees hated him, and he went on to the cross. They killed him, but he didn't stay there. 3 days later, after they hung him on a cross and killed him and put him in a tomb, he come out of that tomb and defeated death, hell, and the grave for me and you. And all we got to do is believe in him, make him Lord of your life, and things ain't necessarily going to get easy in a gravy train, but you will be able to get through it if you lean on him. I hope this has encouraged somebody today, and just keep on watching. Appreciate it if you like them, share them, let other people hear them. And I just, my goal is just to share the gospel. And I hope you have a great Sunday and be blessed and have a great week. And remember, Jesus loves you, and I'm still trying.